break, well, he's Greek and he doesn't really get what's going on here, you know, and everybody loves him. He knew exactly what he was saying.
Because what did he say, Skip? He could have went to a super steam. He could have went to, oh, I don't want to put anybody on the spot.
Yeah.
You know what? So you know exactly what not to say.
He said when he got to the decision to be made over his next pick, I want somebody who's going to pass the ball. And that's when Charles jumped in and said, oh, you don't want the dribbler, right?
Right.
Ha, ha, ha. No, I'm trying to decide between Kimba and Trey. Kimba and Trey? He took Kimba Walker. He said, I'm going to go with the crossover killer, step-back master Kimba Walker over James Harden, who is simply the most gifted perimeter player I've ever seen in all my time observing the NBA.
Who was averaging like 35, 36 at the time.
Okay. And then the game happens, and after the game, Giannis is just rubbing it in, man. He's just pouring salt into the wound, and he says, we went to whoever James Harden was guarding. Went on to say, that's who we thought have the best opportunity to score is who he's guarding. Well, man, you're asking for it here because James isn't a beefer. You know, he kind of stays to himself mostly. He's not a trash talker, but he just couldn't help him. I mean, you got to defend your honor at some point.
You're just talk to me crazy, bro.
Right. And so he's doing a sit down with Rachel Nichols, and he just says, man, I wish I could run and jump and be 7 feet tall and just dunk. Like, that takes no skill at all. And he went on to say, I had to actually learn how to play basketball and how to have skill. You know, I'll take that any day over run and jump and dunk. Okay, to your point, Giannis has a handle. He can handle the basketball. There is no doubt. If you give him a head start from the top of the circle, somewhere out on the wing, if you give him a head start, he can definitely dribble the ball to the basket and slam it in your face.
Yes.
And he can flat out pass the basketball because he averaged 6 assists a game through the finals. That's some serious business. As a 6'11" passer, he has... It's beyond skill. He actually has a gift for it.
Yeah.
He can see it and feel it. No, I give you that. So we're not talking about unskilled here. But I'm going to say it one more time. Monty Williams played the most wrong-headed, stubborn defensive strategy on Giannis I've ever seen in a finals because he just wouldn't give it up. We saw Toronto, quote-unquote, build a 3-man wall in 2019 and take Giannis completely out of 4 straight games that the Bucks lost.
Yeah.
And Giannis shot 44% from the field. In the finals, he was 62%. He was not just running and dunking on their heads. They were saying, no, you got to shoot mid-range. You're going to have to shoot 12-foot jump shots. He does not have that in his arsenal. We're going to put you on the free throw line, where against Toronto, he shot 47% from the free throw line. I didn't even know who that guy was the other night. In Game 6, he was 17 of 19. You want to talk about going into the twilight zone? I don't know what happened because, obviously, on the road, he was a sub 50% free throw shooter because they would quick count him down, and he's like, okay, I'll go. And we saw him airballing. He was like averaging 2 airball free throws a game on the road.
And one three-pointer a game.
Okay, airball. Okay, that's that guy who made 17 of 19. It's like impossibly great. I don't know what got into him, but he was all-time, because they stuck a 22-year-old 7-footer on him who could not match his motor, number one, because DeAndre would just seemed out of it. He just got overmatched on the RPM of the game. And it's like DeAndre Ayton, he comes and goes. You have to try to light his fire. And when it gets lit, he can play.
Yeah, I mean, but playing a sport is a skill.
Yeah.
To play at that level and to be the MVP, Skip, you got to have skill.
No,
it's
I got
it. Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman wasn't as skilled as Karl Malone or Charles Barkley, but to be able to lead the league in rebounding 7 times and to be a defensive player of the year 2 times, that takes a skill. So because someone is not as skilled as someone else, don't minimize their skill set.
So I'm going to defend James on this point, though. He did pull his hamstring. He did try to come back against Milwaukee, and he was a flat-out liability. We saw him on the one potential fast break just turn and say, I can't go. I just got to stand here, and I'm going to let all of you run by me, and then I'll start to walk the ball back up the floor because I can't go. I don't have any gear. I don't have any push-off on my hamstring.
But Skip, what we're seeing, guys that we thought were reserved, we see it with Tom. What did Tom? Tom is taking shots at everybody. Oh, you didn't want me? You want to stick with that mofo? Oh, I got an opportunity. Not that, and he said, Skip, not that I would have signed with him, but the fact that you tell me no.
Yeah, but he said he needs to keep that motivation to himself.
So Giannis like, all of a sudden, okay, I ain't got no skill. I could have gone to a super team. I ain't gonna put nobody on the spot. But I could have.
Another shot at Harden.
Yeah, but okay. I did it.
Okay, but he was blessed. He was fortunate. He was flat out lucky. Yeah. When he ran into the super team, there was no Kyrie, and there was about a fourth of James Harden, who was a liability to his own team. And all of a sudden, it became 1-on-5. And the 5 was just a little better. But it went to the last drop. It went to a shot that Kevin Durant took in which 1 centimeter of his toe was on the three-point line, or Giannis is going home. Yeah. That's how close that was.
But the thing is, Skip, we can't hold that against Giannis because you didn't make him go to a skill that he doesn't possess, which is to shoot the ball outside. That's not Giannis. Giannis said, oh, y'all gonna give me the lane?
Thank you.
Why would I shoot the ball outside when I can just go lay the ball up?
Hey, he was free to roam, man. He was in the biggest comfort zone I've ever seen him in, where he knew he could just get to the basket whenever he wanted. So I saw a lot of layups, and I saw a lot of dunks. You know what I thought of when the game was over? I thought of my Spurs against LeBron, especially early when they swept him. Yeah, this is when LeBron was LeBron. I mean, he was Giannis-like in his ability to just dominate at the rim, where his athletic ability was supreme. What was their golden rule? What was the Popovich golden rule? No dunks. LeBron cannot dunk, especially in San Antonio. Don't let him dunk.
Pistons forced him to develop an outside game. They say, because you're not coming in here. If you come in here, Sally, Lambert, Mahorn, they're going to snatch your butt out the air. And he's like, I got to be able to take some of the blows, but hey, let me do some damage out here. Don't let, what was the rule, Skip? Don't let him take flight. Because if he gets in the air, it's over.
Don't let him launch.
But Giannis, Skip,
they didn't have a rule. They needed a Giannis rule.
Yes.
Right. I don't know what you're doing. I have no idea.
Don't let him get in the paint, Skip. In the regular season, he was effective 41.6% outside the paint. That ranked 195 of 201 players with at least 200 attempts outside the paint.
So he was a terrible shooter outside the paint.
Only one player in playoff since 2000 has had a worse three-point percentage on 53s. That's Lindsey Hunter. Well, Skip, okay, yeah, I'm terrible outside the paint, but you let me go in the paint. So what I'm supposed to do? Play to my strength or play to play to my weakness or play to my strength? Well, Monty Williams says, hey, DA, you got him. No, DA don't. No, you don't put that kind of pressure on a 22-year-old. That's a grown man.
Okay, so do you think James Harden at the end of Game 6 and gained a little more respect for Giannis? Probably a little bit. A little bit. But I'm not going to give you a lot.
Yeah. But Skip, I mean, 35 and 13 with 6 assists, Skip. So he has a skill set he got better at passing the ball.
He did.
Now his teammates stepped up. Chris Middleton didn't play like this against Toronto, Skip.
Nope.
And Bledsoe, it didn't play like this. And Mark Brogdon didn't play like this, like Holiday was what they gave him on both ends of the court.
Right.
So
now,
I
agree. Remember, they lost the first 3 games in the bubble to Miami, and they were done.
Yes.
Okay.
So Giannis said, hey, y'all need to put some respect on my name.
I got a question for you, Shannon. Would Aaron Rodgers elevate your Broncos immediately to the playoffs? We'll tell you what the projections say next.
No mercy, no mercy.